Hey everybody, my name is Devesh Kumar, and today I'm going to talk to you about diseases. How many of you have had family members who have died in the past? And how many of these deaths were a result of diseases? How were you affected by these deaths? When asked these questions, most people answered by saying that they were affected by it emotionally. They said that they would do anything to bring their loved ones back and get rid of these diseases to prevent other disease cases. With the eradication of disease, people assume that everybody will be happy and the world will be perfect because there's nothing that will harm them. Well, that could be true, but in the long run, having no disease affects society as a whole negatively because it leads to overpopulation, which leads to a lack of resources. This is my grandfather. He died before I was born because of heart disease. Everybody in my family tells me that I'm a lot like him. Hearing that makes me want to meet him even more in person. Because of my grandfather's death, my grandmother gained a lot of weight and got diabetes. As we can see right here, diabetes are caused by many factors. But in this case, diabetes were caused by overeating and family history. Due to that disease, he can't eat a lot of sweet things. This has affected me a lot. It means that I have to be a little more careful with eating too many sweets because of the fear of getting diabetes. If there was no such thing as disease, then I would live in peace and I would not have to worry about eating too many things or sweet things or unhealthy foods. For this TED Talk, I am defining disease as an illness that affects the body or mind. Disease is a major problem in society today. It has killed lots of people and affected even more. Most of the population of the United States has been affected by disease. That is, either they have been diagnosed with one or one of their friends or family members has that disease. All of these diseases originated thousands and thousands of years in the past. Disease was a main factor of society in the past. It altered history. During the Spanish expedition to the Aztec capital in 1519, the Spanish possessed two weapons that they unleashed onto the Aztec Empire. Those two weapons included guns and different infectious diseases such as smallpox and measles. Disease played a major role in the Spanish conquering the Aztecs. As we can see right here, this man represents the Spanish and the female represents the Aztec Empire. Smallpox epidemic broke out and incapacitated the Aztec army, thus transferring their power to the Spanish. Disease changed Central America completely. Another major time in history where disease had an effect on society is the Europeans coming to America. When they invaded the Americas in 1750, their main weapon was disease that killed off the natives, giving Europeans an advantage. This picture here shows how European culture dissolved into America. If the natives wouldn't have died due to no disease, would our culture be different? How would our society be structured? Right now, the United States is kind of a world superpower. This is due to them solving many issues in the world. They are also known for their medical field. The United States medical field is one of the strongest in the world right now. Compared to the past, we are so innovative in medicine. We have many vaccinations, antibiotics to treat most of the diseases. We have found cures to many diseases such as smallpox and polio. As we can see right here, smallpox, this chart shows the rates of smallpox cases decreasing as the years go by, and this chart shows polio cases decreasing each year because in India, United Nations and United States and India, scientists have helped each other find the cure for polio and reduce the amount of cases of polio that they get per year. It's been said in a book called Who Gave Pinta to the Santa Maria by Robert Desowitz that in the near future, Scientists will surely identify the bacterial and viral infections of our ancestors by mapping their DNA footprints in the fossilized feces. In the world currently, there are many studies going on to finding cure for all the diseases. Maybe in the near future, there is an actual chance of there being no diseases. For now, diseases exist and they have been affecting society by spreading their pathogens in the air. Most of these pathogens have affected us negatively and created the deadliest diseases. Currently in the world, the 6 deadliest diseases are pneumonia, tuberculosis, diarrhea, malaria, measles, HIV/AIDS, respectively. Just looking at this map about malaria death rates is horrifying. The approximate number of deaths per year for just these 6 diseases come out to be 8.5 million. These diseases have affected society greatly and put families into depression because of their loved ones. This next person I'm going to bring up is a girl by the name of Addie who has been affected by diseases. This innocent little 11-year-old girl got diagnosed with several infectious diseases. On a Sunday afternoon, she was in a church and her hip started to hurt. She thought that she stretched her muscle or something because she plays baseball. Later on, the pains got worse and she had to go to the hospital. She didn't come out of that hospital for over 5 months. When she was in the hospital, she fought many infectious diseases and needed a lung transplant to save her life. When she got out, she was a different person due to the horrifying experience. Her mother said, "Addie will never be the same again, and there's nothing I can do about it." Every day, Addie has to take 12 different medications twice a day forever. Her life has completely changed because of the existing of diseases. This is just a story of one person that has been affected by disease. There are many, many more. Disease has also affected the population growth. In the past, the proportion between the number of births to the number of deaths annually was small. If you look at this picture, we can see that now with the new advances in the medical field, there's a huge gap between the number of births annually to the number of deaths per year. Right now, the world's population is 7 billion and it continues to grow. Now, most of you are sitting here thinking that if disease didn't exist, that everybody would be happy and it could have saved the lives of many people. Yes, that is completely true, that we could have saved the lives of many people. A lot of individuals would be happy. But having no disease is actually worse for society than having diseases. With having diseases, it's really emotional about the number of deaths and the number of lives affected by disease. But what people don't think about is that with having no diseases, the population would boost and it would be off the charts. With a population that high, we wouldn't be able to survive because of the amount of space on Earth. I agree that we should eradicate some diseases, but having no diseases would be too much for Earth to handle. According to The Guardian, the United Nations will warn this week that the population of the world could more than double to 15 billion by the end of this century, with disease present in society, putting a catastrophic strain on the planet's resources unless urgent action is taken to curb growth rates. With disease present, the population has already reached the carrying capacity. If nothing is done, then that would be bad for the human race. Now with no disease, the population would skyrocket and then we'd be out of resources. When the World Health Organization declared the eradication of smallpox, the annual death from diseases dropped and the life expectancy increased. What this is trying to say is that if disease did not exist, then there's a likely chance of even more boost in population. This will lead to a lack of resources such as food and water to feed the entire planet. There will be also a shortage of space on planet Earth to house everyone. The boost in population could result in 3 scenarios. The first being that the population would boost and then maintain itself on the Earth's carrying capacity. The second way this could happen is that the population would boost and then it would go a bit below the carrying capacity. The third and the most horrifying scenario is that the population would boost, and then due to extreme need for resources, everybody will die and the humans will be extinct. So with no disease, there's a really high risk for the third scenario occurring. There are many positives to having no disease. If disease didn't exist, it would help the individual because their life expectancy would rise. People will be happy emotionally because of their loved ones are alive and well with them. Disease is viewed as a positive effect on society. However, with no disease, there will be overpopulation. The overpopulation will lead to lack of resources and space, which makes an even greater risk of humans becoming extinct in years to come. What if disease didn't exist? That is such a broad question. Currently, we don't have enough information to answer this question completely. There still exist many unanswered questions. Diseases have helped us in many ways. With these germs, we have increased our immunity to the air and other harmful substances. If there were no diseases, would we still have the immunity to our environment that we do now? Another thing that comes to mind is that diseases have helped us with research. With the presence of smallpox, Edward Jenner was the spark that ignited the idea of disease eradication research, and this research led to other scientific advancements. So if there were no diseases, would we still be as scientifically and technologically advanced as we are now? Thank you. Bye everybody.